Hello, I'm Noodle and welcome to RimWorld. So I decided that I should do a series on this game because it's been mentioned a few times around the channel and on my Discord. I've also noticed a few people who have joined my Discord are playing RimWorld as well, so I thought, you know, why not cater to the sort of audience that my channel is attracting. It was completely unintentional. I didn't mean to attract the kind of people who enjoy this sort of game. I was always on the fence about doing RimWorld purely because I imagined it would be boring to watch. You know, I probably wouldn't get many views. I probably won't anyway. But it is a game that I really enjoy. So I got to the point where I was just like, meh, why not? Just try it out, see how it goes. So the way I'll be playing this game, I'll be playing it in an unusual way for me. I usually tend to play on a very easy mode. I just like to build my base, but I understand that that's actually a really boring thing to watch. It's not fun to watch someone just fly through the game easy. So I'll be playing on a much harder mode with random, most likely, because I understand from my own experience how much more fun it is to watch somebody just suffer and die in these games. And so yeah, I'll do that for your entertainment. So there's some of the mods that I'm using. Let's have a look. I'll just show them all off. I've got more vanilla turrets, which basically just adds more turrets that aren't overpowered or anything. Turret extensions. This mod allows you to upgrade turrets, I believe. I'm not sure. The description is there. It doesn't even say that in there. And then we've also got more vanilla turrets again. Just more turrets. I like more stuff. Rational romance. This basically, it just completely overhauls the romance system. It is way too much to explain. I'm just going to leave that one out. Grim reality. This one here makes it more realistic in the sense of the colonists have landed in a harsh place. They're living in a bad environment, so they're going to be more accepting of certain situations and certain things, so they don't get such terrible debuffs for such a ridiculous thing, such as somebody being cheated on, driving that certain person to be catatonic so that they're a completely useless pawn. And so this just changes a lot of the mood buffs and debuffs, or penalties even. Centralized climate control. I'm sure a lot of you probably already know what this is. It just stops you from having to have heaters and coolers everywhere, and gives you a climate control that you can make. Stack XXL, this makes the stacks bigger, so you can fit more into each stack with the resources that you collect or mine. This is just to save room, basically. I don't like building up a massive storehouse that takes up a ton of room. I prefer to build a little bit smaller. There's wall light, so again, I don't like things that just clutter around. This here basically gets rid of the need to put a lamp in the middle of the floor and puts a light in the wall instead. We've got doormat. I wasn't too sure about this mod because it feels like it would be a little bit cheaty. So yeah, no, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take doormats out. It is a little bit too cheaty for me. It cleans. It makes it clean when people go from outside to inside, and it just kind of eliminates the need for cleaners inside your buildings. So yeah, we'll get rid of that one. The next one is doors expanded. This basically just adds a bunch of new doors. You know, I like adding more stuff to the game, so why not? More trait slots. Now this here gives you the option of, like, it's a configurable mod where you can decide how many trait slots each pawn can have. So I've increased this to something like 5 as the maximum, whereas the usual is 3, so they'll have more traits. They'll be more varied about what they can do. And I got this one here because of, I think, consolidated traits or fallout traits. Basically, just because of these two, they add more traits in general, just to give some more diversity with the pawns, so they're not all the same. You know, once you've played the game for as long as I have, you start seeing the same things quite often, and you like adding stuff like more traits. Dead man's clothing. I am dead sick of them not wearing dead man's clothing, or at least I'm dead sick of them wearing dead man's clothing and getting that debuff. I mean, they're out in the wasteland, they've crash landed on the planet. It doesn't make any sense that they're unhappy about wearing a dead person's clothes, you know? You do what you have to do. Rim HUD, this is a new one for me. This basically changes how some of the HUD looks and adds more information, so I don't know much about that myself, but I'm trying it out for this playthrough. Minify everything allows you to, well, as it says, minify everything, so you can move furniture from one place to another, usually things that you can't or couldn't move before. It just saves you deconstructing items and then reconstructing them elsewhere and losing a bunch of resources in the process. You got me. This will make pawns stop fighting when they're badly hurt or in a lot of pain, unless they're like, they've got bloodlust as a trait or something like that. I mean, they'll keep on fighting until either the opponent gives in or dies, or if he is downed himself. More furniture, because, well, because why not? More stuff. Quarry, I wasn't too keen about quarry, but if I happen to pick a map that doesn't have a lot of mountains, you run out of chunks quite quickly, so I like to make sure I'm always going to have chunks to make bricks, or stone blocks even, not bricks. Basically the same thing, so that's why I've got that one. Pawns are capable. This one here I got because I don't like the fact that in the game pawns can be incapable of something like caring or hauling, for example, you know. So this here just changes it so they hate doing the work instead. So a pawn that wasn't able to haul before can now haul, but he'll have a massive debuff to his mood. Where is my weapon? This here makes it so that when someone has been downed and they get healed up or taken to a hospital bed, they'll come back and get the gun that they had before they were down. So it saves you from having to get someone else to haul it back to base for you, or back to, you know, from somewhere that's really far away when pawns are really busy doing other more important stuff. Cut plants before building. This basically, well, with these pictures I can show you, it sets the plant to be cut so that the plant cutters will go and help out by cutting these down first, you know. It makes things easier. Let's trade. Now I believe this one here adds a whole bunch of traders, 25 to be exact. Now these traders are all very different, and again, after playing the game for such a long time, you start seeing the same trader over and over again, and I wanted to get some more diversity again with this sort of thing. Skilled stone cutting. This here, I can just read that. Makes stone cutting give crafting skill increase again, and also makes more skilled crafters create blocks more quickly. That's something that used to be in the game a very long time ago, I think, and then it got taken out. I don't really know why. It was probably some sort of balancing reason, but, you know, I like having that. Damage indicators. This just puts damage indicators above the enemy pawns' heads whenever you hit them. It's a cool little RPG add-on. I just like it. Faction discovery. This is for when I add more factions, or if I happen to add more factions into the game as I'm playing it, so that they appear on the map. Fluffy breakdowns. After playing this game for as long as I did, I got sick of things breaking down all the time and using up all the components, and like, components are rare, and once you run out of components, the game can be, it can get really slow and boring and just too much to deal with. So this fluffy breakdowns makes it so that your constructors will go and keep things maintained. But if these items don't receive any maintenance, then they will eventually break down, and you will still have to add, you know, use components to fix those things. Animal logic. This just makes animals better. I can't really explain it. Colony manager. Because of the way that I'll be playing this game on a hard mode with Randy Random, I probably won't even need this mod because I won't use it. And that'll be because chances are I'm going to die before I have a chance to have a big enough colony to justify using this mod. Realistic rooms. This here just changes the room requirements for them to be like good or bad. Yeah, can't fully explain it. But yeah, mainly I got this mod because I want to build smaller rooms and have things cramped together a little bit more. I don't like spacing things out too much. I don't like using too much room. Rim fridge, quite simple. It's a fridge to put your food in instead of actually having to make a freezer. Quality builder. This I got this because when something gets built and it's poor quality, I don't like having to deconstruct it and then reconstruct it all the time. I'd rather use this mod and have that process just happen automatically. So like when a pawn decides to build something, if it's not normal, which you have set the build to be, he'll deconstruct it and then reconstruct it again until he gets a normal quality bed, for example. Pharmacist. This is an incredibly amazing, useful mod. This here allows you to change what medicines get used for what circumstances for whoever, basically. It's just a really good mod. Random plus. This I don't know how to explain it. I'll show this one here to you when I'm creating the pawns who are going to be in the game. Rain removes all filth. This is only because it reduces lag quite a lot. Having filth everywhere on the map all the time and then having the cleaners clean all the outside, it starts to make the game get quite a bit laggy, so that's my main reason for using this. Set up camp. This here allows you to set up camp for, you know, a longer time and to like mine where you camp as well as gather food. It's just it's basically an upgrade to the vanilla game for me, in my opinion. More faction interactions. This here just adds more interactions with factions. Work tab. This here just makes the work tab more configurable, or allows you to micromanage what your pawns do, when they do it, how they do it. An essential mod in my opinion. Mod manager, that's this. That's why it looks so different from vanilla. Faction control. It just gives me some settings of how the factions appear on the map, how many factions there are going to be and how clustered they're going to be and all that stuff. While you're up, this is again an essential mod for me because, I mean, I know that the base game does it, but I think this mod did it better. I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while since I last played this game, so... But yeah, while you're up just makes it so that if someone's doing a job somewhere else and they're on their way back to base, they might as well pick something up on the way to the base if they're close enough. It just works like that. Haul to stack. This here makes the pawns haul to specific stacks instead of actually, well, basically having that happen in your storage, as you can see in the background there. It stacks them all up instead, or ensures that they get stacked into one spot. Trading spot. This here is just a square thing that you place on the map that tells traders where to go when they come to trade with you. Color-coded mood bar. Basically, there you go. Those pictures are quite self-explanatory. More floors, because why not? More harvest designations. So basically, you get a tool that says that allows you to cut just the blighted plants, or a tool that tells your pawns to only harvest certain trees and whatnot. Linkable doors, because, you know, that's cool. Reasonable components. Components that are much more reasonable to craft, so, you know, that they're faster and they're cheaper to make. Purely because components can be a complete pain in the ass in this game. Master of Cooking, this is the last one. This lets you set a higher number of meals to be crafted per go, in a single go with the cooker. But by doing this here, you also increase the amount that these meals would cost to make. So say like making one meal would cost 10 vegetables, and making them one at a time would cost you 50 vegetables, but this here makes it costs an extra 20% to do the 5 in one go, which would make it end up cost 60 vegetables instead, because you're saving time by doing this. I hope I explained that fine. That was a weird one. But yeah, anyway, that's the mods that I'm using. I think, yeah, mod list has changed. Gonna have to restart the game. Alright, so I think we'll start a new colony now, and I'm gonna do my custom crash landed. It's basically the same. The only difference really is I've disabled a bunch of incidents because they annoyed me. There you go, they've been re-enabled. So basically, yeah, it's just the same as crash landed, but with a bit of extra steel, some extra wood, and a few different types of weapons. And I've gotten rid of the pet that you start with because that annoys me, and we start with 5 people because, you know, I like starting with 5 people. I don't like starting with 3. So yeah, what I usually like to do when I play this game, I tend to play with chillaxed medium, basically. It's how I like to play it. It's very laid back, it's very simple, it's not too difficult, and I tend to I do okay through the game. But just for the YouTube purposes and for the fun of other people wanting to watch me suffer, most likely, I'll do Randy Random. And I'll go with... I'll go with rough, because I'm not exactly good at this game. I've played it a lot. That doesn't mean I'm any good. I'm actually quite terrible. So we'll stick with that. Oh, choose a commitment mode. Well, I'm using a bunch of mods. I don't want things messing up and freezing and crashing the game and me losing my save. So I'm going to have the reload anytime mode, and basically just promised you guys that I'm going to play it like it is in commitment mode. That's the best I can do. And I mean, torture, that's a good seed for a world. I think I'll probably stick with that. Coverage, just give it like a 50% coverage for the planet. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, world name torture, generate. There we go, we got the planet. Ooh, wrong button. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this game last. So yeah, one of the faction mods, it changes the color of the factions according to whether they like you or not. So like the ones that are closer to red, they don't like you. And then the ones that are blue or closer to blue and I think yellow, they do like you. Alright, so I've got a spot. We're close to some friendlies. I believe. Possibly. Now he is neutral and he's neutral. So we're close to some like neutral people and the terrain is large hills. We're close to a road and we could probably get there quite easily. We're going to have a growing period of 40 out of 60 days. The rainfall is that. Forageability is 100% and the average temperature is anywhere between 3 degrees and 30 degrees in the summer. So that's, yep, temperate forest. Good place to start, I think. Yeah, we'll go with that. Although I should pick the map size. Medium. I see, I've never been a fan of small maps. And it says that these larger ones, they can break the AI. But I've never seen it really have a terrible effect on the AI, so I think I'll go large. I'll go large, just to be safe. And yeah, we'll go on with that. Since the location is within 4 tiles of another faction base, they will feel you are encroaching on their land and relations with factions will worsen every 15 days. I mean, the one right next to it is basically large hills, and there's not really any difference apart from the limestone, marble and slate, whereas it would have not had slate, so we'll go there. Next. Alright, so that mod that I was talking about earlier, what it does is it'll re-roll until a certain pawn has a certain thing that you tell the game that you want it to have. I mean, all the point system is still like considered, you know, and I believe. So it's not going to be like too cheaty. And so I'm just going to generate some pawns and we'll get started basically. Alright, and that's done. So I've randomized plenty of times to come up with some semi-decent people. So we've got our shooter, who's Alex. He's 46 years old. He used to be a test subject as a child, and as an adult he was a Hive World drone. He hates caring, he hates social, he hates intellectual, he hates artistic, and he hates firefighting. So yeah, he's our main shooter. And Miner, he's gonna be the defender of our colony, and he's gonna be the guy who gets our steel and stuff like that. He's a night owl, so he'll mostly be working at night. He's abrasive, so he always says exactly what's on his mind. That sounds like Alex. But by the way, Alex is a subscriber who's he's a moderator on my Discord. He's a rock hound, and he enjoys working with rocks. So that's probably that's where he gets his mining and crafting from. And yeah, Alex, you are officially bisexual, so there we go. I would like to mention that if anybody wants to have anyone named after them, then just let me know in the comments below or join my Discord, which you'll find the link for in the description, and just let me know there. Next we've got Depressed, a subscriber who's been with me for an incredibly long time. He was a sickly child, he's a machine collector, he has no hated work types, he's pretty, he's kind. He's got a chemical fascination, so he's gonna like drugs. So I'm gonna have to keep drugs away from him. And he is also officially bisexual too. So welcome Depressed. Next we've got Schmooples, somebody who I used to do YouTube with. She used to be a sickly child as well. She's a housemate. She's sanguine, so she's got a better mood effect, a permanent mood effect of +12. She's mostly happy. That's just like her in real life. She's pretty. She's gourmand. So she has a hunger rate multiplier of 50%, so she gets hungrier faster, which explains her cooking. By the way, yeah, Depressed, he's mainly the guy that stays behind doing the like medical work, intellectual work, and crafting. Schmooples is our cook. She can craft sometimes, and she can look after people too. Then we've got Twinkie, who's my best friend in real life, and he used to be my YouTube partner. So he's a RimWorld urchin. Well, he was, and adulthood, he's a deep space miner. He's psychically sensitive, so yeah, that's great. A transhumanist, so he likes to have his body parts replaced with robotic stuff. That sounds more like me. He's a jogger, so he's fast, he's jealous, he doesn't like people who have more impressive bedrooms. He's a wimp, so yeah, he's totally a wimp. And he is also a bisexual. But Schmooples, she's straight. So we've got 3 bisexuals already. Oh no, 4. I'm one of them as well. So we've got me. And as a child, he was a bodyguard trainee. Okay. I was also a space bartender. I'm a night owl. That's exactly what I'm like in real life. I'm pretty, obviously. I'm a skilled medic. I don't know how, but I am. And yeah, I'm bisexual. So like that's the people that I'm starting with. There we go. So I'm just gonna start up this game, let it all load up, and then save and quit. Alright, so the 3 of you awake, blah blah blah, etc etc. Let them land. We'll have a quick little look around before I end it. There we go. It's quite laggy, isn't it? Probably should have picked the smaller map size. It'll do, it's fine. We've got a decent bit of cover that we can use, possibly. I don't know where I would build walls. We've got plenty of places where we can mine stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Obviously, it's episode 0. Episode 1 should be out today, maybe tomorrow, sometime. I'm not entirely sure. Ow, I just hit myself on the headset. I don't know why I did that. Ah, fuck. I mean, yeah. Anyway, as usual, if you all enjoyed, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Join my Discord.